In this video, we're going to be breaking down a Japanese A5 BMS12 Pismo, also called a tenderloin. We're going to start by removing the chain meat. That's that piece of muscle that runs all the way down the entire length of the Pismo. You can find that just by running your fingers down the side of the muscle. Here we're going to remove any excess fat by hand. By doing so, that doesn't damage any of the muscle underneath that we're going to be turning into steaks. And it also helps to expose the silver skin, which we're going to have to use a knife to remove. Now we're going to start removing that silver skin. So you want to just make a small flap with your knife, and then you'll be able to grab that with your hand and pull directly across to the back of the tenderloin. You always want to make sure that you're cutting in the same orientation. That way it prevents any feathering of the meat or any jagged edges. Now we're going to flip this piece of meat over and remove any fat that we can by hand once again. We're going to continue to trim this piece of meat here, removing any excess fat using our knife. Now we're going to focus on the butt tender portion of the Pismo. The butt tender is that large meaty portion that you see at the top. So naturally there is silver skin that runs into the center of that meat, and we'll be able to trim that up more when we cut it into steaks. When you still have it as a large portion like this, it's best not to misshape that piece of meat there. From here we're going to focus on the back end of the Pismo. So none of this has silver skin. This is really just trimming to whatever the preference is of the person buying. You could actually leave all this fat on and it would melt in the cooking process. Naturally, people do not like a lot of fat on a filet, so it typically has to go. It's also important to remove the silver skin that's on the back portion of the butt tender that you'll see right here. Now we're left with a fully trimmed tenderloin here. Now it's time to cut it into steaks. We're going to start cutting on the butt tender side of the Pismo here. You'll notice that the marbling actually gets higher as you get to the center portion of the fillet. That center portion, if you're ever going to cut it as a roast, is called the Chateaubriand. And this is the final product. Hope you enjoyed the video. We ship nationwide. Thanks for watching.